Trust Me Travel presents a series of travel narratives from around the world entitled Travel Time with Robert and Tracy. This narrative is for the town of Chefchaouen in the Rift Mountains of Morocco. You can see here on the map, Morocco is just south of Spain. It's on the other side of the Straits of Gibraltar. It's a country about the size of California and has a population of about the size of California, which is 33 million or so. After a busy morning in Rabat, we're off to a little village up in the Rift Mountains called Chefchaouen. It's quite a bit of a drive, and we're going to go see some of the Moroccan countryside. So as we leave the capital city of Rabat, we're heading out into the countryside. These are cork oak trees, and apparently they are pretty common here. We never saw any signs of cork being harvested, but you're out here on the central plains, and you're now starting to see a much more rural side of Morocco, complete with horse carts. But the fields are very brown. Remember, this is October, so they've been harvested. And then you come across this. This is sugar cane, quite plentiful and grown here. Again, the horses out in the field, the farmers walking, the little village town here. As you come into these little towns along the way, you'll see the little open markets, places that people are buying and selling. This is a local bus. They just pile on the stuff on top and hang on to the back. The water collectors here are taking it off to their home. The structure in the background is an aqueduct, and here they're taking the water directly from the aqueduct. Some of these can be quite tall, and you can see how they have constructed this to provide irrigation, in this case to sugarcane. These are tangine pots. A tangine is kind of like a casserole. Another little town that we're passing through, seeing some of the trucking and the gas stations. Little tuk-tuk driver here as we again exit. You can see more of the tangine pottery shops along the way of the road. The central coastal plains of Morocco have been home for farming for millennia, dating back prior to the Roman period, prior to the Carthaginians who established a city in this area. This has always been fertile farmland for the growing of wheat to supplement the big cities elsewhere. We're passing by this little mosque, and it's quite interesting because behind the mosque are these salt springs, and they've collected the spring-fed water into these evaporation ponds. They're now harvesting the salt from it. Again, this industry's been here for millennia. We are now heading more into the Rift Mountain foothills. The Rift Mountains are kind of the continuation of the Sierra Madre in Spain. They cross, as it were, the Straits of Gibraltar and continue on southward through Morocco. So as we come into the Rift Mountains, they're not that big, but they are kind of pretty and subdued. Chefchaouen, or Chaouen as it's called by the locals, is a gorgeous mountain town up in the Rift Mountains. Chaouen, meaning goat horns, takes its name from the mountains behind it, but it is this beautiful little whitewashed with blue accent village that attracts tourists from all over Europe and America. We arrived rather late in the evening, and so we headed off to the shopping plaza, the Spanish Plaza is called, complete with a Casbah and mosque here in the middle. The city has its fair share of holy men. This is an example of one as he walks through the streets. But it's really more noted for its shopping for tourists, and also the fact that it's kind of in the heart of the Moroccan drug district, meaning that marijuana, or keef as it's called in Morocco, was widely spread and available here, and it's also somewhat tolerated, though it's illegal in Morocco. Here we have Tracy shopping for some purses, for some souvenirs. Like I said, we've arrived rather late in the afternoon after getting just a little glimpse of the town, we're headed back through the newer part of the city to our hotel. This one here is Dar Chef Shawan, meaning Palace of Chef Shawan. And though not a riad, it's a wonderful little place. We can sit here, watch the sunset, and listen to the night sounds. Chef Shawan was established in 1471 by Mulay al-Ben Masu. He was a distant descendant from the Prophet Muhammad. He was also a refugee from the Spanish Reconquista, which is the Spanish taking of the Muslim Moors out of the Spanish peninsula. And not only did they drive the Moors and the Muslims, they drove the Jews. And the Muslims and Jews came to this area and established their new homes here. And to differentiate the Jews from the Muslims, the Jews would paint their houses or doors blue, and that is the start of the Blue City. Now, as a matter of just generating tourist dollars, everybody paints their house blue. But it has a strong Spanish influence. So the Andalusia influence, or the influence from the Andalusia district of southern Spain, which has lots of water and gardens, is much evident here, including these sculptures of Gaudi. Probably not the actual Gaudi, but they're proud of it. The festival of sacrifice, or Eid, which celebrates the willingness of Abraham to sacrifice his son and having God provide a sheep instead, has happened in the last couple of weeks, and we're here to see the sheepskin being turned into prayer rugs.
Used as a rag, prayer rag. Yes. And the original Sufi people, they used to take a corner of a mosque and then sit down, yes, and then they are worshiping Allah on their way. Yes, that's exactly what we would find.
Our guide has just explained that the Sufi people, who were the mystic part of Islam, would pray in the mosque with the regular Muslims. And these sheepskins, remember this when we get up to Fez. It'll be interesting. This is the local laundry. They take the water directly from the mountain streams. These shelters are here for the women to do their laundry in the old traditional way. And it's quite pleasant by the babbling brook at the base of the Chef Shawan Mountains. Village dress is important, so different villages have different types of dress. Here's a red and white, here's a blue and white. This represents different villages these ladies are from. But we're entering into the actual old city, or into the Medina, as it were. And you can start to see all this blue. Andalusia blue, representing the water from where these Spanish Jews had come from and immigrated to. The Reconquista, or the driving of the Moors from Spain, resulted in this area being settled, as I indicated. In the 15th century, Jews were welcome in Chef Shawan. Portuguese and Spanish were not. In recent times, however, the Spanish government has spent quite a bit of money in helping reconstruct the old city walls. The Spanish are once again very welcome. Our tour guide is taking us through his home neighborhood.
We had to share with the other people, like the bath, the courtyard, the kitchen, And this is the house where I was circumcised.
Oh, okay.
So circumcision, it's in Muslim tradition. It's like in Jewish, the Judaism. So in Morocco, we have the tradition like the kids are circumcised a year after they're born, or 2 years or 3 years maximum. Okay, and most of the kids are operated now at hospital.
Perhaps a bit more information than I really wanted to know, but he is very proud of the area and everybody in the town seems to know him. He goes on to explain that any proper Muslim neighborhood should have the following items. Number one, a bakery, a communal bakery. People bring their made dough and have it baked there. A mosque, of course, is obvious, but also a school or a madrasa, which is generally associated with the mosque. Not necessarily a religious school either. A water fountain, a source of water, is very important. Also, cleanliness, a hammam or a communal bath. think of this like a Turkish bath. And last but not least, a place to buy things, a souk or a marketplace. All 6 of these items must be present to be considered a town. As we wander the neighborhoods in the old Medina of Chefchaouen, the blue color is just omnipresent everywhere. As we prepare to leave through the old southern gate of the city and we're headed out to the new city, you still have a little bit of blue, perhaps not as much as it was in the old town. The local imam or priest greets us like old friends and neighbors. As we head back to the hotel, pack our bags, head down the road to our next adventure. We are headed to Fez, an imperial city of Morocco, in the center of the country, but that's another time on Travel Time with Robert and Tracy, presented by Trust Me Travel. We have a large selection of travel videos on trustmewithtravel.com. So join us there, trustmewithtravel.com. Robert and Tracy wish you happy travels.